Here we go.
Here we go. We are live on Facebook. Hi, everybody. I'm Nick from Re-Tribe. Well, welcome to the What's on the Elephant and Castle Facebook page. I've been banished to my bedroom to do this one. Joining us is Melissa and Lexi Maize, who many of you at the What's on the Elephant Facebook community might already know. Lexi, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine. How about yourself? Are you guys good?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy busy morning, but everything's really, really good. Lexi, so for people who might not know what you do, can you give us a 2 or 3 minute kind of rundown of what you do and what you do with the Elephant and Castle?
Okay, so with the Elephant Castle community, before lockdown, we used to give like dance workshop for local children and young people. So like based around street dance, Afrobeat, and like various different dance styles. So the aim was to engage them and give them something positive to do after school. So for us, as part of Upside Down Dance Academy, what we do is we deliver like a variety of dance classes from children to adults, from age 3 to, well, as long as people can dance, really. And then so in terms of dance styles, we offer mainly cultural dance styles, which are like hip-hop, Afrobeat, dancehall, soca, anything cultural. It could be Chinese dance as well. It could be Indian dance too, just to represent the people's cultures, and bring everyone under one roof as one, basically.
So I love that. I love how dance can bring communities together. Can you give us a history of kind of your dance experience, where you started off dancing and how it's played an important role in your life?
Okay.
That was my question. But okay, there you go.
That's okay. Okay, so it all started well. So first of all, I'm French, so I came here to live in the UK like about 13 years ago, and one of the reasons why I came here was to like be an established dancer or try and make it in the dance world, let's say. Not so much because there was not as much opportunities in Paris, but it's just that in Paris you have a lot of competition, and so I just wanted to come out of the box and do something different. So I decided to come here, and then so in Paris, if you want, I was already like a street dancer and doing competitions and so on, and then. When I came here initially because my sister was living here already. And then so what happened is she was sick a little bit and stuff. So I needed to go and see her at the hospital and everything. And then one thing into another, I got to stay here. So that's what happened. And then, but in terms of dance, coming back to France now, if it wasn't for dance, because of the way, the location where I grew up in France, it's like really a dangerous area to grow up in. And so the thing is that dance is kind of like what drive me to go away from all that negativity and everything. So everyone else around me that grew up with me at that time ever became like a footballer or like basketball or even tennis, anything else, and then you have also the percentage that was going in and out of jail, so it was between those two worlds and stuff like that. So if you didn't have something to focus on, the odds for you to become somebody like that will be really high. So so that's the thing. So I thanks dance for that, and so that I didn't have to deal with negativity as much. And then so, and I think that's one of the things that I wanted to accomplish by coming here, because in my first couple of years coming here, I was teaching a lot in schools and for charities and everything. And at the same time, I was doing social work and youth working and working with young offenders and like young people with mental health problems and learning difficulties. So that's my background. And then so what I discovered is that dance was having a great impact on some of those young people. And then so until now, this is kind of what I'm trying to do, like trying to drag them out from negativity, so to give them something positive to do through dance competitions and street dance. So that's basically it. And then if they don't like street dance, well, we have other dance styles.
Right, right.
Yeah. So that's the aim. And then so that's mainly that. And also for adults like around our age, I would say just to give us something fun to do after work, you know. And I like so because most of our people coming to our classes, they don't really go to gym themselves, so they can use it as a way to keep fit or just to socialize. So one of the things that we do is that this company has become is we do a lot of social events and stuff like that for all our students. So the thing is that it could be that that was before COVID. Before COVID, we were going to do party together. Some of them, they go to restaurants together. So it's not only just about the classes, it's also about the community aspect, where people that are going to work every day like don't really socialize with other people, and then it's giving them an opportunity to socialize for some people. Yeah.
How have you noticed the impacts of COVID and doing dance on Zoom? Like, what have been some of the challenges around that community building and that socialization? What's been your experience of Zoom, a dance Zoom teacher or whatever, Zoom dance teacher?
So, I saw it coming from afar, I would say. So I had time to prepare. But then the thing is, the challenge was that it's physical interaction. You know, it's not the same. So at some point we can do it for like 4 or 5 months, but at some point you will notice that people start to drop out because it's like they really want that physical interaction and stuff like that. So we could feel that. But the positive thing is that for the social element, some of our students had like Zoom parties and then stuff like that. So there was just organizing Zoom meetings, late nights and everything. And then there's another app called, I think it's Party or something like that. I forgot the name of the app now.
House Party.
Yeah, House Party. Yeah. So what was happening is that people was keep on inviting us to join this, and then just like talk about anything or you know, or anything dance related. So you get to see them dance inside the houses and stuff. you know that kind of thing. So yeah.
Lexi, I want to kind of go back to something that you said about how you started getting involved in dance and how, you know, like it was either you could go down a destructive route or you could go down a productive route, which is like dance or sport. For me, it was sport when I was a child. I used sport as a way to protect myself from a pretty violent household, but also it gave me the approval of my father. It gave me some kind of sense of being. So sport was who I was. And sport was seen as being very manly, you know. So you had connotations of in school of like ice hockey and American football and basketball all being very manly sports. Now, what kind of challenges around letting young men know how physical and how beautiful dance can be, while still kind of like having to be told that you have to be a certain type of athlete or you have to be a certain type of man to become, you know, to have sense of belonging, I think. And and I love hip hop because hip hop has given that kind of, you know, that it's given a culture to dance. So did you experience any kind of hurdles when you were younger around being a dancer or being interested in dance? And did you have any mentors that kind of helped you overcome those fears?
Yes, I did. I got lucky because most of the people that told me how to dance were street dancers themselves. So they was like my first ever teacher. His name is Loic, and he's like a locking dancer. So locking, that kind of thing. And then he was one of the best lookers. Well, in France and still is today. And then there was another guy called Manu as well. There was Clays, Junior Almeida, Fox, quite a lot of people. And the names that I've just mentioned are people that are well known in the French dancing. And then there was also Tino and a couple of others, Mehdi, Frankie. So there's like a lot of people, and all those guys that I've just mentioned, they're still active to this day, and they still some of them done like movies, shows, concerts, dancing for different artists on TV and stuff like that. So it's just like I think for me as a student, it's like watching some older generations doing things positive and stuff, and then so it's like I think it's all about having some role models that you can look up to, and then so you're like, oh, I would like to do that, so like to give you that feeling. And that's why I think we're trying to do the same with the young people here, and we're taking advantage because we kind of know a lot of like dancers in this world. It's like the world is broad, but this is a small community. Everyone sort of know each other and stuff like that. So what happened is that we can get into a space where we could get people that are really influential in the dance world to come and really engage those young boys, because the problem will be that if we don't have access to those people that can act as role model, then it will be really hard to engage young people. Like it will be because the nature of the industry here in this country is that whenever we talk about dance classes, it's mainly girls that are coming. So it's like you would have like classes like 30 girls coming in one class, and then you can count the number of boys and everything. But then in my opinion, if more boys role models was coming in and show what they can do, that will attract more boys. So yeah, and then from this that could evolve into something else. Yeah.
What do you think needs to happen for this kind of to change the course of invitation for boys to be interested in dance and not see it as like, or have dance not be seen as a gendered kind of thing that's mainly for girls? Like what do you envision needs to happen for that to change?
Yeah, I think it's more about representation. So if more male dancers were seen in even on social media content or and on TV, like TV advertisements or even movies, that will do. Like in movies, actually, at the moment, it's like 50-50. But the reality is that when you go to dance studios, well, for me personally, I see more women, it's mostly girls I'm seeing in classes currently in my own classes. But the thing is, what happened is that we're trying a different approach where we can use some of the boys that are already getting there to influence over boys or even their friends. Yeah.
I love that, Lexi, because what it's doing is it's challenging. One of the things that me and Melissa have started is this concept of tender is the new tough. And the idea around tender is the new tough is that we are currently trying to challenge the ideas of what masculinity is. And I think for me and for many people, like dance has a connotation with women doing dancing. And I know what Mel's saying is like, how can we kind of like make a dance gender fluid and like not with regards to like it's not masculine if you become a dancer. Like how hard is it to be a dancer? It's physically demanding, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that if younger men knew that it was very physical, and it was beautiful, and it was also cultural, which is something that we can get into, but it's really about challenging these old ideas. It has nothing to do with dance itself, really, and it's just across the board in all of our cultures, is that we're brought up a certain way with regards to what a real man does. And I love what you're doing, because you're challenging that, and you're saying that, dude, it's wicked to dance and it's cool. So you know, what ways do you go about doing that? What ways do you tell young men that it's cool to dance?
So the first thing what happened, so I'll give you a case that happened to me at like 3 days ago. So what happened is there was like some new girls, and then there was some new boys coming in the same class. But then, so I think it's because, like, if you want, society has a way to treat girls differently and boys differently through TV and advertisement. So the thing is, so I think it should sort of be the same in a classroom in a way, because it's like what will interest like girls might not interest boys straight away. When boys are coming straight away, they want to learn flip and breakdancing. You know, so those are the two main things straight away. So so I would be fool to ignore this. So when they're coming, okay, you guys can do your choreography on this side of the room, and then you guys grab some mats, and then we're gonna do what we say we're gonna do. So it's like engaging them in different ways, but and then to meet their needs, I would say, so that they because as they're coming in, without us saying to them anything, you can see already the interest for breakdancing and throwing themselves on the floor and trying things that they've seen possibly on TV and things like that already. So so we're just trying to go with the flow and exploit what they are interested in, rather than imposing what we want for them, you know, initially. And then later on, we can then break it into stages. Or there's breakdancing, there's scrum, there's popping, there's this, and then they can get to choose which dance style they want to do. And then the next step will be to for both boys and girls, is like to engage them through competitions, and then start working on the confidence, you know, because a lot of one of the big issues with dance for any dancers, young or old, is being able to be confident dancing in front of other people, or no matter who's watching.
Yeah, that confidence building, I mean, I've seen it with my niece, and I've seen her grow in her own abilities and her own, like, being sure in her own bodies. And I think that's something that we need in this day and age, with so many different representations of perfect bodies for either, like, however you identify. Like, it seems like you need to be a certain way, and dance allows us to get in touch with our bodies in really beautiful ways, and just build our confidence, even to be able to walk into a room and say hi to somebody, or, you know, when we're back to face-to-face stuff, to go into a meeting or go into the community center again and chat up a person. You know, it gives us so much, you know, security, I think.
It's confidence.
I have a question. Yeah, it's confidence. I have a random question, I think, but what's your favorite style of dance to do yourself, but then also to teach? Do you have something that's like you feel more connected to?
Yeah, well, I would say popping. Popping is the main style that I like to teach, and but then there's also hip-hop, because, well, so put it this way, so hip-hop will be more free. It will be more free in the way that you can get inspired. So once you have the foundation, you can then explore other dance styles, and then like kind of like transform and make it your own and create. Popping is more strict in a way that it's like more like on the martial art training, where your shapes need to be really clean, and then people, if you dance and stuff like that, everything that you do need to be precise, rather than hip hop. It could be raw, it could be messy, as long as it looks fun and good to watch. if it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like both ends of the spectrum. One is more structured and one gives you more freedom to find yourself in your own creative process. It's kind of like the world, I guess, like the wherever we find ourselves in the world, there's these different choices or these different structures in place.
Yeah, that we have to make. So it's like in terms of dances, it's often like that. It's like it's to do with preference. So once the dancer, young or old, is understanding what they want to do, then, or if we see that they are more they are better in this style than this style, then we can say, oh, why don't you try this style?
Okay, like there we go. I got it.
Yeah.
Here's a question. I wonder why, with regards to hip hop, there's, and the elements of hip hop, you are like, it's kind of the word that goes after hip hop is artist.
Oh yeah.
So is there a thing that, like with regards to hip hop, that people try to kind of become that artist and become kind of more full with regards to graffiti or DJing and rapping, and where the other ones are just kind of dance? So, does that create more of an interest in hip hop?
Yeah. So, sorry. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Can you see me?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna up there. Sorry.
No
what happened is like dancers like to be perceived as artists. If it makes sense. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just gonna have to plug in.
No worries.
Nick, now you're supposed to do some dancing while we wait.
Oh, Lexi's gonna be doing some dancing at the end.
Don't do that, Nick. Don't do that.
Okay. That was the dance interval. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, he went away.
Lost Lexi for a second.
So now you really have to dance.
I'm gonna get back into here and hold on. Let's see. Wait. This Facebook is Facebook Lives. We've lost our artist. I'm sure he'll pop back in a second.
Nick will be dancing with us for us.
I cannot dance. Dancing.
No, I know that. I'm teasing you.
But it's funny because like it is something that when we grew up, it was like dancing's just not cool, and
really?
yet there was when it was like you have to be a certain type of athlete or something at high school, and it was like normally like American football and ice hockey and boxing and wrestling and all that kind of stuff, and it was dancing that was it wasn't like it was frowned upon, it just wasn't available, and it would have mainly been like classical dancing or ballet or something or jazz, and it just wasn't considered as being manly, which it was just part of the culture that I grew up in. Right. So even though dances were the place to go and learn how to to get close to girls, and you have your first kind of like teenage crushes and kisses at dances, but yet I was so bad at dancing.
Yeah, even the slow dancing where you have to be like 6 feet apart. Well, at least anyway, in my growing up, like you can touch, but don't really touch.
Yeah, we got to put hands on hips like this, like.
Yeah, it's awkward. There he is.
Yeah. Wait for the audio to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Sorry.
Hello.
Sorry again.
Dude, you miss all my dance moves.
Nick was just dancing for 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Like little.
That's good.
No worries.
It's all good.
My computer, I guess. So as I was saying, so some dancers consider themselves artists, and I think the status is down to the amount of work that they are doing. So it's like if they receive a lot of work, like being into music videos or movies, or like do a lot of theater performances, it adds up over time, and then it kind of like sometimes in some occasion it can make dancers feel like a certain way, So yeah, that's what happened. I hope I replied to your question.
Makes sense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Mel, you're up, or do you want me to go again?
You can go. I think you had an unfinished question.
What I saw, Lexi, I saw just last year. It was a West End dance thing that was made by the same people who made Riverdance. It was called Heartbeat from Home, and it was just a mixture. I think what it was doing, it was telling the story of immigration through dance, and it was showing how when immigration's happening all the time, but wherever people would go to, if they couldn't bring certain things from their home, they could bring their dance, they could bring their culture with them. And it was this idea that cultures, we've always been traveling and migrating and immigrating, but wherever we went, we could bring our dance. Apart from where you grew up and the styles of dance that you've learned, are there any kind of other cultural dances that have really inspired you, and also the cultures that have inspired those dances? Do you have any inspiration from that?
Yeah, so okay, so for this one I'll have to go back a little bit. What happened is initially when I started dancing, I was sort of already dancing in a way, because so I started dancing when I was about 12, but I was already sort of dancing because culturally I'm from Caribbean, in that from the French part of West Indies, Martinique and Guadeloupe. And then so over there, we have also traditional dances, so we have a dance called Goka, which, you dance on drums and stuff like that. And then we also do salsa over there as well, because it's close from Cuba. And then we also have the reggae and then soul going on as well, because it's close from Jamaica. And, so we get all the influences from all the different islands nearby, and then Venezuela and Brazil are not too far too, from where we are. So we kind of get like all the influences. So when I started dancing, I already was aware about those dances, which kind of make my trip easier to learn other dance styles and stuff like that. So I would say that having a cultural identity when you become a dancer is kind of uh, important for me, in terms of what it's making. No, it's important, but I would say it's just making it easier for a dancer to become really good, um, rather than someone that have not experienced any sort of like cultural dances before might have to learn everything from scratch. That's the only thing that I will say. But that doesn't mean that the person that has not had any sort of exposure with the cultural dance before cannot be better than the person that has had cultural experiences. Yeah. So
That makes, I mean, when hearing you talk, is like I could feel like the sense of not only like dance, but what the dance invites in terms of like community and heritage, and like this lineage of ancestry and respect and kind of coming together. Can you talk a bit about that, like the role it's played in your life, if it has, and like how you can see that play out in different ways as you work with kind of different neighborhoods, different peoples in different cities?
okay, so yeah, no problem. So what happened? To give you an example, is for example, there is a dance style called house dance. A lot of people that like house music might relate. So people that listen to house music, there's like they created like a dance, and then which is like also can be dance on techno sometime as well. I think it's called a shuffle dance. So when people are doing the shuffle dancing and all that, generally to house music or techno music. But then the thing is, and now you will take somebody that has maybe um, a background, African background, for instance, where they also have traditional dances and stuff, and then they are used to, if they know about the cultural heritage and they know about the dances, they probably know already about some step of the dance styles, so which will make it easy for them to dance on house music because of the rhythm and the drums. And then because and it's not only also because of the music, but it's also because of the dance style itself, because the dance style is like it's a lot of footwork, and then jumping movements, so you have to kind of like, it's really put it this way, doing house, I use house as a cardio exercise sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for someone that does house and has or is aware about the African dances, that's going to be a big help for them into doing that specific style. And then after that, you have still on the house level, you have another dance. We have other dancing which are like voguing and whacking, which are nothing to do with that, and that have been created with the um, the LGBT community from New York, in America and everything. And then so they created that dance because they wanted to produce how they wanted to be like women themselves and stuff like that. And then they wanted to show, So they created that dance because of that. And then that dance really became popular to the point that now is mainly dance to house dance or break no, it's not break beat, but like broken beats, kind of things. And then you usually have a speaker as well that is motivating people to do certain things and set the steps and everything. But then so all of that to say is that there's different dance style that can be associated with one kind of music, and and then different people can create dance styles associated with that thing. So it's not, so in one side you will have the cultural from Africa, and on the other side you have the cultural that been created from America, and then on the other side you have the cultural that be created from Europe on the same kind of music, and then after that is for us, if we are interested in those dance styles, to go and pick from each one and then create a mix like that. Yeah.
That can be kind of beautiful. That is so beautiful. And I'm just thinking overall of like where the state of the world is in now, and so much divide and so much like hate being projected and trying to separate us from each other and our races and our like all these divisions. When you speak of dance and in this way of like this commonality and this, we can take pieces and create our own beauty. It seems like such a beautiful remembering for how we can actually exist in the world today, rather than what the mainstream is telling us,
Well, in the dance industry, especially in the hip hop industry, we don't we we don't watch ourselves like that. We just watch the dance, we don't watch anything else. So that's what I think, that's one of the reasons as well why I'm still doing that these days, because whenever I go to an event and I see people around, I see people from every country, you know. So that's the thing. It doesn't matter what country I'm going to, I will probably always find a dance scene that will welcome, So
it's beautiful.
I think that's the the idea of dance as being playful, as being fun, as being community, and I love how you talk about it being fusion of different cultures, fusion of different ideas, where people can actually, instead of it being like competition, it's more playful and it's more like, let's have fun and dance. And I love what I love what dancing does. I just wish I could do it better. But Lexi, what this month is Black History Month, and I think what's interesting, what I'd like to know is, from your perspective, is how are you kind of reflecting on Black History dance? Are you doing anything particular this month to celebrate it or to acknowledge it?
Yes, we do. So from the 12th until the 18th of October, we have daily classes that are involving all those dance styles. So it's like a mix of Afrobeats, soca, dancehall, hip hop. I think I'm forgetting some. We have also commercial dance. Commercial dance is basically a mix of dances selected by the teacher, and then it's basically what you guys can see in, like, I don't know if you've seen some of those videos. Not all commercial dances like that, but to give you an example of one aspect is sometimes there's girls on heels, and then they're doing all the sexiness and everything going on. So you can have that aspect, and you can have the other aspect where it's just someone that is mixing different style and then making a choreography out of it. And on usually on commercial songs like Chris Brown or like the latest, and then so we have this. We'll also have like popping possibly. We also have so basically all the dance style that been created from Africa, Caribbean, Latin, and America. That's kind of like what we're trying to portray. And then so yeah, it's gonna be for a week, and then from there people can choose to come back if they want to, or they can just like come and try and have fun for that week. Yeah, that's
Cool.
basically
What advice would you give someone who's like me or Nick, who like is curious, wants to dance but doesn't want to be seen dancing, like who's a little bit anxious? What would your advice to somebody who's not sure?
So I will advise people because that's to do with confidence, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So and then from experience, the best way to overcome confidence is by challenging yourself. So try it once, try it twice, try it 3 times if you have to. But then the thing is that so there's different ways then you can choose, because right now we have access to different things. So you can either choose to join a class physical and then try it this way and see how it goes, or you can try and go on and do online class on Zoom if it's easier for you, so that this way you can just like remove your video and then
Right.
room, that's enough. Well, some people are doing that. And then over as the week are passing, you get to see that now they're leaving the video on now, because they're
cool.
they are used to the people. They know who's who. Sometimes it's not like always like that, but I think it's taking weeks for someone to become confident. And the recipe will be for anyone that want to attend classes and that feel a bit shy, just to challenge themselves. So even for me, for example, I was not always confident, so I had to really like put myself on the fire, keep burning myself until I'll be in position to perform in front of like thousands of people and stuff like that in one place. So because that can be something really hard to do for, because it's like you are self-aware that a lot of people are watching you, that may be making judgments and stuff like that. Some people are gonna like what you do. Some people might not gonna like it. So it's kind of putting you like in a box in a way. But at the end of the day, if my advice for people that want to do performance now is you dance for yourself. So you dance for yourself first. And then anyway, we live in a world where there's always going to be someone that's not going to like something. Right. So if we live for this, then we don't live, isn't it?
Well said.
I think it's wonderful what you do, Lexi. I think that whenever I have danced, and like I said, I'm not good at it, I've always felt good after. If I've made a fool of myself or got in the middle of a dance floor where I was the only one, I've tried it. I may have made a fool of myself, but I felt good just moving my body. And it wasn't the reaction of anybody watching me dance or make fun of me. It was the smile I had on my face and the light that I had in my eyes. And it was just joy that I felt. And that's like, and so, Mel, with your regards to that kind of advice, of you and me, like that would be the thing. If me and you went, Mel, I would be okay with going because I had somebody with me. And I think if people are out there and they're in a little bit of fear, a little bit of social anxiety, is to, partake either Zoom or in person, but go with a buddy and have a laugh together. Have some fun, because like you say, it's something that you have internal. Yeah, have fun with it. And I would, when things restrictions kind of loosen up a little bit, Lexi, or I want to be in touch with you anyway, because I do want some dance lessons. Because my girlfriend can dance. She's a dancer.
Oh.
And if we ever go out, I gotta be able to do something.
He has
right?
to step up. Yeah.
I've got to step it up, man.
Yeah.
You welcome to come and meet the community. You will see if you come, we have a whole community of like, so it's basically each dance classes have his own community, you know. So you I get some people that because then after that there's other parameters that are going into place. Sometimes it can be that you like this teacher better, or you like this teacher better as well. So some people are like that as well. Sometimes it's just the teaching style that the people are watching. And then in most classes, sometimes you get couples. Sometimes we had also, we had couples that wanted to get married and that needed some steps, you know, like just before the wedding, you know, when you go to as much class as you can so that you can grab like things and then make up something. And then, so one day we had that couple that came, and then they also bring the bridesmaids and everything, because they want them to get some of the steps as well. And then they ended up doing the wedding and then like combining the things that they've learned and stuff like that as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's cool.
Nice. Lexi, yeah, what you do is amazing. And I know I can feel it in my heart that you do really good work and you help people. And I can't wait to meet you face to face one day and keep doing what you're doing. How do, if you want to leave it, because our time's coming to an end, but how do people get in touch with you?
So people can come like via our Facebook page, which is called Upside Down Dance Academy, or on Instagram, USDD Academy, and then same thing on Google as well, is usddacademy.co.uk. Yeah.
Beautiful.
If you ping me all of those links, I'll put them into the Facebook feed. So
okay, no
dude,
problem.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It was such a lovely time.
Thank you for having me. Sorry again about the troubles, you know, technical problems.
No big deal.
What kind of little dance can you do sat in your chair right now?
Oh.
There we go.
Like, you know, just and movements only, you know. But I'm pretty sure you guys can dance too, so we'll have to see that at some point.
Yes, we're gonna have to talk the talk or walk the walk. Yeah.
Walk the walk.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Lexi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you. What's on Elephant and Castle Facebook page? Don't forget, this Thursday at 11 a.m. we are doing a widening of the circle workshop with Melissa. So thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you all soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.